Hey, I'll change the scenery today. Before I get into Discourse on Metaphysics 6, which starts to talk about regularity and miracles, I had some questions about Discourse on Metaphysics 5. Specifically about the principle of sufficient reason. Good question. Yes, the principle of sufficient reason, this is where it lives in Leibniz, one of many, many places. But yeah, the non-arbitrariness of God's choices means that everything that's a result of God's choices, there must be a reason why it is that way and not some other way. Good stuff. We see it showing up differently in the monadology. We're reading the monadology on TikTok right now at the same time. And in the monadology, it's that there must be a reason why each monad is distinct from each other monad. It's the distinctness requires a reason. Anyway, great stuff. Now, the question that I was asked is this where Kant is getting it? Okay, the relationship between Kant and Leibniz here is really interesting. Leibniz sees the principle of sufficient reason as what makes metaphysics a science. The principle of sufficient reason lets us get real demonstrations out of metaphysics. Now, Kant, I think the story goes kind of like this. Let's start with Hume. Where does Hume see the principle of sufficient reason? Well, Hume doesn't, right? Hume says, unlike Leibniz, our knowledge starts with experience, and from experience we gather regularities. We make inferences because of the regularities of our experience into regularities about the world. Is there really a reason things are that way? No, not really. I mean, we're not going to ever discover that. So what we get really, in a way, is induction instead of sufficient reason. Now for Kant is going to try to justify some of our more abstract and metaphysical kind of reasoning. He wants us to be able to talk about space and time and causation in reality. But he finds that these rules, like the principle of sufficient reason, these things that govern reality, they're our mind projecting that onto reality. It's how reality must appear to us. So Kant is going to get metaphysics and the principle of sufficient reason, but only in our knowledge of things, not in reality as it is in itself.